Okay, we are recording. So guys, we are so excited that you're here. You know, we were talking about this and I'm like, I need this topic too. I need to figure out how to recruit working coaches. So this can be applied honestly to anything. But one of the things that I would say that I kind of learned the hard way as a new coach, and Chris and I were talking about this earlier, was that I didn't talk about the business. I didn't feel confident in talking about the business. I didn't know how to talk about the business as a new coach. So that's what we're going to teach you, because while you guys can change challengers' lives, and that is amazing, we're like not doing people a service if we do not also talk about the business, because not only can it change you financially, but I think you guys probably all agree that it's changed you in accountability for your own fitness, in your personal development. Like there are so many big things that have come about coaching that if we only just teach people how to eat healthy, we're really not doing our due service. So that's what we're going to share with you guys tonight. If you could all mute yourself, let me just mute, and then if you have a question, just unmute. Work. I'm just kind of muting people through here. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to really start talking with you guys about is why. Like, why recruit coaches? Why do you want to do that? Well, first and foremost, it is going to be one of the builders to your business, because if you, and again, this is speaking from me learning the hard way, because somehow I missed the memo when we started, is that if you only talk about challenge groups, you're only going to get challengers. That's all you're going to attract. And so you want to build this business, like if you actually are wanting to make an income, which I know that everybody is in this business, but you know what? It does not hurt to get paid for doing this, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. You are going to have to start to build things, and you're going to have to start talking about it. And it can't just be diamond. You can't just say like, oh, I'm going to get to diamond coach and then I'm going to stop. Because honestly, guys, diamond is like the first step. You want to be thinking beyond. I know that for me, I worked full-time up until January, and I was able to just quit in January, and now I'm home full-time with my crazy children who don't sleep. But the only reason that I was able to do that and a coach full-time is because I hit 2-star diamond. And for those of you who don't know that, that is where the compensation plan explodes. And that's really where it starts to unlock the power of what this company has. Literally, guys, overnight, my income doubled. Not from me doing anything extra, but just opening up that opportunity. And that came because I finally figured out how to start business in a way that would attract people. And so it's really important for you guys to kind of have the long view and say, why am I doing this? What's the importance? I need to figure out how to talk about this if it's authentic to me. And so you have to think about what you're putting out on social media is all people are going to get from you. They're only going to understand the business if you start sharing about it. If all you talk about are challenge groups and before and afters and your check-ins, that's awesome and that's a huge part of what we do, but that's the only people that are going to be paying attention to you. And this talking about doing a power hour, in your sweats, or your kids are running over, or maybe you're working at midnight, like we're going to start sharing about that, but you need to start understanding how that works. So that's like my little soapbox thing. So now we want to move into kind of okay, how do we do this and who are we talking to? That's Chris.
That's me. Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Okay, so hi guys. My name's Chris, and so Abby was talking about how we get to where we're developing as coaches. And can we mute everybody? Are you able to do that? Yeah, get me some major feedback. Okay, sorry, I was getting really bad feedback and I couldn't hear. And I'm distracted squirrel, so that's going to happen. Anyway, so we were talking about getting to diamond. And for some of you, I'm not sure, show of hands, how many of you are already diamond coaches? How many of you, okay, good. How many of you are already emerald coaches? Good. How many of you have not made emerald and are pushing for emerald? Like that's your first. How many of you said, I'm going to hit emerald and I am going to go to diamond? Everybody's hand should be up. And how many people have said, diamond, can I go beyond diamond? Yes, because any one of us can. So, we look at this. We are on the top team in the company. We have this amazing training, right? There is no reason why, like Abby said, that we start and get to diamond, that it is just a stepping stone. We don't stop there. We don't take our foot off the gas. This is when we are just now starting to develop ourselves and what our team is. And some of you might be saying as emeralds, and you're like, if we're talking above anything that you guys are saying, or if you're brand new coaches and you just don't really understand, I want you to take some of the drills that we're going to walk you through tonight and just start to really apply them to make it an analytical process for yourself of what you are. A lot of times you are going to be on these power hour calls. Coaches are going to show you what they do. They're going to show you their posts exactly. And Abby and I were talking about that. And if we're talking about building coaches, if we're talking about building a team and attracting coaches that work, you have to start thinking about what your team is. And there's a reason tonight that we are not going to show you the posts that we're doing. Feel free to go out and scroll our social media later. That's totally fine. And it is not because we are crazy hot messes and didn't have a chance to put these together. We thought about it well in advance and we're ready to put it together for you guys. But what we want you to start doing is really thinking about what your team is. Your team is not the same as Melanie's. It's not the same as Abby's. It's not the same as mine. It is your team. What does your team say about you? And so we're going to run through a couple exercises that at first I will tell you, I don't know about Abby, but I know when they would do these exercises or somebody would post something and do it and I'd be like, oh, whatever, I'm not going to do that right now, until I did it. And I went, why didn't I do this when they first told me to do it? So you may be thinking, oh, I'm too busy right now, or oh, I'll do it later. I want you guys to just stop for 1 second. Abby was talking about if you're going to be a challenge group coach or if you're going to be a business building coach. And we're going to have you do some exercises tonight. And right now, I want you to, the first thing you've done, if you haven't done this already, and this is going to be reflected in your Instagram profile and everything else, I want you to close your eyes for just a hot second, and I want you to think about you. And I want you to think about what makes you you. And yes, I can see most of you right now, so I know if you've closed your eyes or not. All right. Are you thinking about you? Are you thinking about the things you like? Are you thinking about what makes you you? Good. Open your eyes and write down the first 5 things that you think of that are you. At least 5. What are you? Are you a mom? Do you like wine? Are you about religion in your church? Or do you like your books? Do you like, are you a dog or a cat person? What are you? Name your 5 things. Write them down right now. And I did this ahead of time so that I can't say I didn't not do this. All right. I see some of you starting to look up. Keep writing if you're still writing. If you've got more than 5 things that you're writing about, that's great. Don't let it get too wide. But the purpose of this is to start thinking about who you want to recruit. You are essentially recruiting you as a coach. That's the first and foremost. If you are not into fashion, if you're not into makeup, why are you posting about it? You need to be attracting and looking at you. So when you look at your feed, when you go back and look at your feed, can you tell what you are about? Because those are the people that are going to follow you. That's first and foremost. And I say that just as followers because we're looking at this from a business perspective. How can you lead in to start having those conversations with people? How are you going to be messaging people? You guys with me so far? So the next thing I want you to do when we're done with this here, I want you to look. If you're not on Instagram, get on Instagram, first of all. If you are on Instagram, and if you're fighting Instagram, don't. Just listen. That's the mistake I made until last August when I realized the amazing world that we have coming available to us on Instagram. If you are on Instagram, I want you to go and I want you to take your profile and I want you to list your profile out. What are you? And somewhere in there, it needs to talk about you being like a business builder or a fitness coach of something. Some play with that verbiage in there, but they have to know not just that you're into fitness, not that you're just into being a dog mom, not that you're just into being into wine. They have to know that you are a business builder. All right? So that's the first and foremost, that like when people come to your page, do they even know that you're a coach? Do they even know that you're recruiting for anything, that you're building a team? So that's the first and foremost. When we talk about like presenting yourself on social media, it's the same thing on Facebook. It's the same thing on LinkedIn. You could do the same thing on, I'm not on Snapchat. I'm not cool enough for that. But you could be on Pinterest, or there's a million things out there that you could be on. Twitter, same thing. Twitter is another huge audience that if you're not on there in the short, we don't want to do the pictures all the time and you just want to capture people with words, Twitter's another one that you could be on. And so there's your first exercise of presenting yourself into the business. And so we're going to turn it over now. And this is a really fun topic that Abby and I came up with, because now we have to start talking about the business in our social media. And how do you talk about the business when you're not Melanie Mitro? When you are not the, four-time superstar top coach of Beachbody? How do you talk about and attract people to you to build that business, to build that team? And it can seem really scary, because there was a lot of us in here that just raised our hand, that we're gunning for Emerald and that we're looking to start building that business. And so there are ways that you can do that. You can start attracting people, because you're going to start attracting people to you. So, Abby, I've been talking long enough. I think it goes back over to you of starting with the.
Perfect. So one thing I did, we are not, like Chris said, going to share examples, although you can totally go stalk us because we have them on our page. But I did just want to share an example of what she's talking about for those of you who are not sure or maybe newer to Instagram, just so you kind of get what she's talking about, where she was saying in your profile. So I'm just going to share the screen really quick here. This is the only thing we're going to share with you guys. But this is mine. So you guys can see on here, like it's listed out, like higher ed to mompreneur. I do fitness, IG stories all day because I don't want people looking there, but it's kind of listing out like these are the things that I'm passionate about in a really short way. So you don't have to do this exactly, but people need to be able to see it the second they click on my profile, they know that I am about these things. So just to I remember as a new coach, and I'd love for you guys, like as a show of hands, how many of you guys feel really uncomfortable or lost figuring out how to talk about business? Like the actual all of you, yeah, okay. Because let's be honest, like it feels braggy or salesy, or you don't want it, or maybe you're like, I've had no success, so I don't know how to post about a business when I don't have a team to lead, or I'm not making lots of money. Like it can feel weird. And we have to, first of all, just take the stigma away, because there is, number one, nothing wrong for getting paid with this. Number two, if you found a movie or a restaurant or a dress or anything you would be excited about, and you would go share that with your friends and family, right? So there's nothing wrong like with sharing opportunity, first and foremost. So you have to just get out of your own freaking head, okay? Because you came into this business probably because somebody else posted about it at some point. I know that I would not be here if Melanie had not talked about the business, and I'm so glad she did, because it changed my life. So you have to get out of your own head. But when you're not making lots of money, you don't feel...
Yeah, like all the way down.
Sorry. Figure out how to mute someone muted here. And I don't have power to mute for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, the very first things that you have to start doing, the first thing that I want you to do with this exercise right now, like Chris said, you pull out a piece of paper or phone or whatever, and I want you to write down at least 5 positive things that coaching has brought into your life right now. Like, who were you before you were a coach? Who are you today? And what are at least 5 areas that Beachbody has done that's positive for you? So some examples that could be, it could be income. It could be, hey, you're a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you hate your job and this is a passion project that has brought some like fun into your life. Maybe you like talking with people all day. Maybe you've learned things and that's fueling a fire in you. Maybe personal development is giving you confidence. Maybe you are more confident. You're suddenly stepping out in new ways. Maybe it's funneling a creative side in your life. Maybe it is making you confident in your body, that it's keeping you accountable to your health and fitness goals. Maybe you're reconnecting with old friends. Maybe you're making new friends. You know, start listing things out that it doesn't, there's nothing wrong, and it can absolutely be financial, but it does not all have to be tied to that, okay? So I want you to make that list right now. And then every single week, you to post from that list, okay? You need to start sharing these things, because for a lot of people, while it's really cool what Melanie does, that is so seemingly unattainable that it's pointless for her to even talk about her income, honestly, guys, because people are like, I can't pay for my house in cash. But when I was starting out and finally getting my feet wet in the business, I started talking about the fact that I could take my son after daycare through our local coffee stand, and I didn't even have to think about it. Now, his hot chocolate costs $2, okay? I didn't need to put a money amount on it. I could just say, like, gosh, I love the freedom of this business, that even as a working mom, I can steal these little moments away with my son, okay? It doesn't have to be complicated. You can talk about your personal development. I know for me, my faith is very important to me, and I post my devotions all the time. That is attracting my tribe because they are resonating with what's going on in my life. I post with no makeup on and hair that looks like a disaster because that's my life. And I talk about how today that I was in the backyard and 7 months ago I was in a cubicle. There's nothing to do with income in that. If I was in a cubicle, I could be talking about how excited I was on my lunch break to be checking in with my challengers and how that fuels my fire. These are not things that are tied to income. So you need to think about what is it that coaching is bringing to you that is lighting you on fire and why you're doing it. And here's the other thing, guys, that's so important. And I think sometimes we can wrestle with it. If you feel braggy or maybe false, like maybe you're putting on this front that's not there. There's that whole fake it till you make it thing, right? Well, here's the deal. And I'm going to get a little bit of tough love on you guys because I'm feeling sassy, but this is just the reality, is that nobody is going to freaking join your team. Number one, if you don't know about it. And number two, if you're like, so I'm a coach and I feel like, nobody wants to join that. They want to know that you have training because you do. You don't have to train them. You can plug them into training. They have to know that you are going to be there to support them. They have to know that you're going places. So talking about where you're headed and what you're doing and that you're going to be an elite team next year or all those things, that's not false. That is casting a vision that is so strong and so powerful that people are going to want to join you because they're like, wow, she's got some fun, cool stuff. I want to be a part of that, okay? So you have to get the whole switch the verbiage and say, I am casting a vision of where I'm headed. I'm going there. This train is headed out. Do you want to hop on it or not? And you have to start posting with that confidence. Because the reality is that people probably won't know you from Melanie Mitro. Outside of the body world, people might, if you're going to be they think you're the top coach if you're talking like that. Like, I can't even tell you how many people will tell me on Instagram, like, wow, you're such, like, this is so cool that you're doing. I'm like, big of a deal, guys, but sure. Like, yeah, I am. You have to have the confidence, and that comes from personal development, and it comes from just starting to put it out there. So hopefully this helps you, but that list is going to be really key for you to think through those things. And even it doesn't always have to be this big, like, my team is hosting a sneak peek or call to action. It can just be throwing it in there. You're sitting on I'm sitting on the couch at night watching The Bachelor. I post that, number one, I'm embarrassed that I love The Bachelor, but I do, and people all think it's funny, and that gets a great social media conversation. And I post that I'm sitting there at 9:30 or 10 or 11 at night, or because I want hard workers on my team. So there it is. I'm catching, like, moms, people who like The Bachelor, people who are embarrassed of The Bachelor, people who want to work hard at 10 o'clock at night after their kids are going to bed. Like, just look in there that start to resonate with your tribe. So, Chris, I know you had some thoughts too, so I'll mute myself.
Okay, I'm back on. So a really good point that Abby made, and you guys, you can't post wrong about coaching because it's just like if you're posting about your workouts and how it's making you feel. Coaching is the same thing. The only word of caution I'm going to give you, and Abby started to touch on it, outside of Beachbody, they don't know you. They don't know what you're doing. You're inspiring them. So the only word of caution I'm going to give you is if you start talking Success Club or like very specific jargon and lingo for to Beachbody, keep it very generic. Like, take it out to a bigger level to people that they can relate to. And so Abby talked about, I'm just looking at the list because I went ahead and I did this drill too, and right with you. And Abby mentioned people can relate to being able to pay a bill, being able to pay an extra credit card payment or an extra student loan payment. people related. I did a post recently because I don't know how many of you guys freak out. Like, kids are expensive. Kids' activities are expensive. When you've got two kids that do completely separate things and you're having to buy new things for all of them all of the time, it was so reassuring that one Beachbody check covered when I had to turn around and pay for to register my kids for different sporting events with different new equipment and everything else. Really resonated with the moms and parents that were just like, oh my God, and struggling, and they weren't sure where they were coming from. And it's those little things. It's not being able to buy a giant mansion that's going to get you started. Because like Abby said, it may seem like it's a dream. Like, I don't know how many of you guys closed your eyes and said, ooh, on coaching. On coaching, I want to be, sitting on a beach, or I want to be able to retire from my job, or I want to be able to do all this. You can do all of that. Take those baby steps in how you recruit people, and then you build that credibility. And then you know what? You're going to look back next year at where your income was at and say, wow, I paid for my Shakeology and I paid extra on a credit card. And then the year after that, you're going to look, and I'm looking, and I not only paid extra on a credit card, I covered both of my car payments. And it builds and it builds and it builds what you're able to do. So take those small steps and keep reaching for them, but keep them at a generic enough level that people outside of Beachbody can relate to it. And just to share, it doesn't always have to be financial. And so a lot of people that resonate for me is because I am a working mom. So, I don't know how many of you know Abby, that know me, know any of our backgrounds, but I'm a working mom of two. I have a professional career that I have worked my butt off to get up to. I've got 20 years in human resources. I work for the Air Force now. I've gotten to a senior level position. Super proud of that. There is parts of me that I fully intend to be able to walk away or to retire from my job early, but I'm not at a point where I can say that yet, because it's all about the politics and kind of the timing. So I'm not going to be coming out and saying like, I'm walking away from my job, here we go. I still love my career. So I'm still balancing that right now. And we're not here to talk about like time management. We could do a whole other power hour on time management and everything else that we do. Just know that Abby was working full-time. I was working full-time, or I'm working full-time. It can be done. So just put that in your mind right now. You just figure out how. But in my messaging to people, it is about my career and the confidence that it has given me in my career. That's one of the things that coaching has done for me. We talk about the personal development. We talk about the confidence building. We talk about the booms that we've done for everybody. Confidence in my career. And so I have skyrocketed. I've gotten 3 promotions just since I started coaching. And if you've worked in the government, you understand that like that's boom, boom, boom. And to where I'm at right now, I got 1 promotion left. So that's to be at my age, to be at that level. I never thought I would be there. And I never would have been there. I would have stayed and been the wallflower, so that's just one thing that is not a monetary, that any of you working mamas out there can say, all right, this is what coaching is doing for me. It's giving me greater confidence. It's helping me to propel my career. People are going to resonate with that because they're looking how they can move their career. I've learned to be more present with my children. Instead of being all over the place. And I'm a better time manager. These are things that people relate to in coaching. They're like, wait a minute, hold on. She's got some secret sauce going on. Mama's managing to work out. She's managing to like hang out with her kids, and she's, rocking her career, and she can do this coaching thing. Hold on a second. Am I sugarcoating it in my message to people about coaching? No, like Abby said as well. I want hard workers. I don't want people that think it's just going to get handed to them. I want the hustle. I want them to go out and say, I can do this. I want to do this. I want them coming to me and saying, all right, what do you think of this? How are we doing this? And they're ready to take, they're going to make that leap, or they're going to just kind of fail forward, and they're going to figure it out, and they're going to learn to have that confidence. So when you are messaging, it's all about the message and the packaging. So we had you think about who you want to be working with. Excuse me. We had you think about the people that that you want on your team and what you want to be about. It is all in the messaging. So in all of that, of what it's done in your life. So it's not just financial, and it doesn't have to be just about sweaty selfies. We're way more than sweaty selfies. But notice I haven't gotten out of my yoga pants today. So there's that, because I got to work from home. I think we've got 2 more assignments for you guys. We're not going to do them here tonight. Three more assignments. They're going to be quick and easy, but they're going to be how to start boosting your coaching. And so does everybody know how to use stories? Your Instagram stories? Yeah, I'm seeing that. Okay, great. I'm seeing a bunch of head nods. So number one, if y'all are okay with it, if you're not okay with this, then turn your video off. Don't too many of you turn your video off. But we are going to take a picture. I've seen some of you already doing it, so you know. We're going to take a picture of us. Everybody, I'm going to get up. I'm going to share it when I'm done here. You're going to pull it down, and you're going to post it to your stories. And you're going to talk about how amazing that you have this top training. You're on the top team, and you're getting this amazing training tonight about how we're building a business, and that you want people to come with you. Everybody ready? All right, big smiles. Big smiles. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, my face is not in there. I got to be in there. Perfect. Okay, I will get that shared. Abby, do you want to do the leveraging summit, not being at summit?
Yeah, so a couple things just to piggyback that I was supposed to mention earlier. So these are some elements that are not for right now, but you guys, you want to do every day. So the first thing is to do a posting plan. And this can be your stories or your Facebook. And it doesn't mean, like, if you can actually pre-write all your posts, that is awesome. But you need to, and for me, it's like a non-negotiable that I am posting about the business, some form, at least 3 times a week on my social media. Now, that does not mean that it's a big call to action, although they are sometimes. Sometimes it's just a little jab, those little coaching jabs, but it is a non-negotiable 3 times a week, because I know that, 20, 30% of my Facebook friends or Instagram friends see everything that I post. So if I'm only posting about coaching a month, they're not gonna see it. But if I'm jabbing it at least a couple times a week, it's going to start to click and they're going to start to follow. So I know every single Monday I am talking about the business, because I know people are grumpy at work and they're going to be like, I want to be fulfilled. Every Friday I'm talking about the business, and then usually, and then every single day in my stories, I am jabbing coaching, not nonsense. It is there, and it is in poll options. It is in those little bar things. Sometimes they're silly coaching things, sometimes they're serious, but every single day in my story. And it's showing people, again, if you follow me, my life is a hot mess. Like, my laundry's on the floor right now. I haven't showered since my workout. Like, it's a disaster. But showing people the behind the scenes of how I am fitting in a business to a mom of small children, and when I was working full time, that takes the fear away. And I'm dealing with objection center by letting it out. And so you have to start thinking about, like Chris was saying, who are you trying to attract, and then show them how you're doing life by using stories, by using social media. And so, it doesn't need to be fancy. It can just be things like this, like, it's 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. I'm sitting on like right now, I actually just did a post on my stories. I said, doing another training for the top team, sitting on the garage floor, # living the dream. And I showed my dirty garage floor. I'm like, I'm not trying to be all fancy and this is my life, but if I can make it work, you can too. So you have to start doing it and forcing yourself to do it a couple times a week if you want to build a team. If you post it, they will not necessarily come, so you post about it and then you invite, and we'll talk about that at the very end. But in terms of Summit, so how many of you guys have been to Summit before? Oh, none of you. Okay. So Chris and I, it's next year, go. It's in Indianapolis again, and it will change your life. So make that a priority. But if you have gone to Summit and you're listening to this,
in Indy again?
It is in Indy again, yeah. I think the rumor's out. So if you have gone to Summit before, what I have been doing is I have been pulling pictures from last year. I did a post last night about me. I went with my 6-week-old daughter last year, and I was like, all the feels, remembering, blah, blah, blah. I can't be there this year, but I know all these people are liking it. And Instagram, I'm doing the same thing, and I like even location tag Indianapolis or New Orleans, like all those things. So I am reminiscing in my posts about how fun it was, and then my team is there right now. So how many of you guys have friends at Summit right now? A few of you. Okay. So if you have friends at Summit right now and you are not there, go screenshot all their stuff and post it in your Instagram stories and be like, my friend Lindsay's there. Look at how much fun she's having. I love this coach life. So cool. Because people need to see that they're, again, is more to coaching than posting sweaty selfies in your garage, right? So showing that other side, showing the parties, showing the fun, even if you're not there, it's number one, talking about your team, because now they know you're a part of a team. It's showing that all the cool stuff. So go grab their stuff. Like Instagram has this new feature where you can actually share someone's post into your story, and it looks really cool. So all my team that's there, I am sharing all their posts into my stories. I'm like, I love my tribe, I love my team, I love my success partners. And so all of my people are seeing Summit happen, even though I'm not there. So you can talk about the cool products that are going to be launched, not in a salesy way. You can go screenshot stuff. Go look at what Carl Deichler's posting. Go look at what top coaches are posting and pull that stuff out and talk about it with a way that's passionate and exciting so you can still leverage it. Talk about how you are going to be there next year with your team. That's one of those things, that casting that vision piece. Who wants to join me? So I did a post about that last night. I was like, I am so pumped.
Hi.
Okay. Who is going to be here with me next year? Who wants to come? And I said in that post, I was like, next year I'm going to be there celebrating the fact that my team is an elite top team. Because that's what we're pushing for this year. We're not there yet. Guess what? I'm pushing real hard, but I'm casting that vision. Who wants to join me? So start doing that stuff, okay? You can leverage it, but you have to start sharing those things that are happening for people to see the behind the scenes and get excited for you as well. So that's what's my spiel. You're up, Chris.
Sorry, I couldn't find my mouse again. So a great thing when we were talking about planning our social media posts. And if you guys haven't done this already, like Amber's already said, this is her first month. Like, and it is awesome. And she just sold her first challenge pack, you guys. So congrats to her as well. Yay. So there's so much that you're hearing and doing. So Amber, who is in, I saw you nod that you don't know anybody at Summit, but who's your coach? Is your coach at Summit? You know, and we're all on Melanie Mitchell's team. We're all, you know, exactly. Melanie's your coach. Check out her stories right now because she's doing a lot of cool things. And like that jumpsuit that had the dream team on it and it said Mitro, and you're like, oh my God, that's my coach. You know, that's my team right here. And look at us getting recognized. And there's so many things that you could do to totally turn it into inviting people to you. One of the things I have finally gotten better about is kind of branding my message on Instagram. This may kind of blow your mind here for a second, but just bear with me. If we're going to be talking about how do you keep track of what you are, Jessica, give us just a second. We're going to wrap it up here with 2 more exercises and 1 more rant from me. And we're turning it over to you guys for questions because we always have lots of questions on stuff like this. So give us just pause on that for just 1 second. But how do you keep track of what you're posting, or are you posting on the fly? If you're posting on the fly, that's not necessarily bad. What I would encourage you guys to start doing is looking. Abby was talking about, are you posting and jabbing about coaching at least 2 to 3 times a week? Like, how frequently are you doing it? And are you tracking it? If you're not, and I can share this in the group afterwards too. There's some cool things out there. If you're a pen and paper kind of person, I have a social media of the week kind of calendar. A lot of you may have seen this before because we share a lot of these resources. It's all the same. And it lists out, I don't write out exactly what it is I'm going to post, but I make sure that on my days, I do about 3 posts a day, sometimes 2. And I make sure that I have, did I talk about coaching? I have to talk about coaching on this day. I have to talk about, my transformations on this day. I have to post a funny meme on this day because you want to find your tribe? Just start posting some memes. You post some comments. If you guys are on my Instagram and you look about the other day and I posted about if you're going to have an argument on a cell phone, at least put it on speaker so we can hear the other side of the story. Boom. I had almost 400 likes on that, and you're just like, okay, I found my people. Those people that are commenting are the people that you want on your team. And if you guys find that quote offensive, then you're not the people that you want on my team. You post the quote that means a lot to you. I find the funny, snarky side of motherhood, and that's what I post about. If you believe, Rachel Mitchell does a great job about the inspiration and the posts with God and her relationship with God and with Jesus, and that is her jam. And she rocks those posts. All of them there. That's her message. My message is the snarky mom, the snarky working mom, and what I appreciate for that. What you see what your message is, make sure you're posting about it. And if you have trouble keeping track of it, then something like a social media planner on paper. There's an app called Planoly, Planoly, I think I spelled that right, that helps you essentially plan out your Instagram posts. Doesn't post it for you, or maybe it does post it for you now, or you can schedule it to be posted, but you can see what your grid's going to look like, and you can look and say, oh, you know what, there's too many food pictures, or there's too many sweaty selfie pictures. I haven't talked about coaching, and it starts getting really reflective for you, so that you know what your next post needs to be about. And I will tell you what, guys, like my kid jumping into a pool today, I threw a coach jab in there. Like, just, I am so happy. You know, he's so proud of me. I work really hard every day to make sure he's proud of me. # coach life. You know, and it's that subtle message of the coach life and what it has done for me. So there's a lot of things that we can do in there. All right. We've seen stories. We've talked about some. Abby and I have our little list that we're working from, because we're both squirrels and we both get distracted by our families. And so we want to make sure we don't miss anything. And we've talked about what's working for us. So the people that on coaching posts, anytime you put anything, # coach life. If you are doing a coach jab and you mention anything in your Instagram stories, what do you guys do with those people? You just are like, okay, cool, thanks. Or nobody commented, but you got like a ton of people that liked it, or you're in your stories and people are liking in your stories. Do you just let those comments go? Or are you just like, oh, awesome, I'm hoping I can get them next time? If you say yes, it's okay. I totally have done it. It's fine. But you're missing out on a huge market right there. And you don't even have to like jump on and be like, oh my God, you liked my coaching post. How are you doing? You simply come back and you ask them, and you make it kind of non-committal too. And you just, what I do to them is I say, hey, thank you so much for showing the support. I really appreciate it. Is coaching something you're interested in, or were you just showing the love? Like something simple like that. And it almost always gets a conversation going. They might not even know what coaching is, but whatever it was, like your kid jumping in the pool and they thought that was awesome. And it starts a conversation and you can relate with them. So anytime somebody is liking they don't have to comment. They are liking. If you see them viewing your post, I know that there's a coach out there, and I love this. I stole it from her, is that she will go. And anytime somebody is viewing her post and not necessarily viewing her story and not necessarily interacting, she'd be like, hey girl, I see you watching my posts, you know, and she'll totally call them out and start a conversation with whatever it was that she sees them on. Great conversation starter. So don't be scared. People are not going to come to you. And my last soapbox is that people in this society, in this day and age, we are not taught to dream big. We are not taught, we're like essentially surviving life. And so many of us are, and we come across those people. And when you think about what coaching does for you, and like how big you can dream and how big you can take this, and that we actually go after it. Like that's the difference between us and everybody else. We go after it. And now we're teaching other people to go after it. So don't sit back and wait for coaches to come to you, because you're never going to find them. You have to become the best recruiter for your team. You are going to be essentially the only recruiter for your team for a while. And you just keep going, and you will find that rock star. And you have to be recruiting. Set yourself a number. Like, am I going to recruit 5 coaches a month? Am I going to recruit 15 coaches a month? Is it going to be 20? Doesn't matter. There is no number that's ridiculous. You just have to remember that you put that number down. You have to be able to put and be willing to put that effort in the coaches and who you're going after. It's a numbers game. So just think about how many invites you have to put for challenge groups. You know, if you want a challenger to sign up, it's 1 in 10 sign up. It's the same thing with coaching. So you've got to be thinking about that and putting those numbers down. So the last thing I'm going to turn over, before we turn it over to you guys for your questions, Abby has got your assignment. You do have homework. I know, we're not at school. But Abby has got your assignment for this weekend that you have until Sunday to have done. Okay, I'm going to mute.
So I want to echo what she's saying. So one really, really helpful thing for me is kind of the invite, right? Like, who do I invite to coaching? Well, if I'm talking about coaching every single week consistently, then I consistently have people to invite to coaching, okay? So if I never talk about it, I don't know who to invite. So that's why it kind of all starts to work together as you post about it and comment or like or view, you start to have people that, as you're doing your vital behaviors and adding to your network, because you need to be growing, and we have questions about that, so we can totally talk about that. But you need to be adding people, but it all goes together. But you have to, guys, you have to have the long-term vision, and you have to be willing to stick it out. I know I you guys are newer, but you may get to this point, or maybe you're already there. I really struggle with the comparison game. I'm very competitive. I'm very driven. And I look at other coaches in the business the same amount of time that I have, and they're top 10 coaches, or, you know, all that stuff. And I struggle with, like, they're not there. And, well, they don't have kids, so of course they can be there, all this stuff. And I can make excuses. But the reality is sometimes hard work always wins. And I know the long-term goal. So I can look back, and I was telling my team the other day, I love videos on our team page. Taylor and Jess are on this call, and they know that I'm always going. But I was looking at back at Facebook on the state features. I was putting out six working coaches on my team last year for accomplishing things. Guess what? None of them are coaches anymore. None of them. And if I put all my eggs in that basket, and I learned this the hard way, great, 6-star diamond, here we come. I've got 6 girls. We're going for it. I would be sunk right now. But you have to constantly, even if you're like, oh, my team's on fire, great, talk about it. You cannot ever take your foot off the gas of recruiting. This is just a part of what we do if you are serious about this business. And so that's why we're hammering this into you guys of, like, you have to do it consistently, but you have to be willing to stick it out and know people are going to quit, and know people might misunderstand you. And I look at those girls now, and I love them to death. I really do. But they were not my tribe. And the girls on my team right now are, and I'm pumped about it, because I have refined this process over the last few years to being so clear about who Abby Burgess is, that they are starting to attract that. So that's a soapbox thing. But your assignment is, you need to start, we're going to rip off the Band-Aid, okay? And you are going to run a sneak peek into coaching. So your assignment is to come up with a post to invite to your sneak peek. Melanie's not running for you, okay? There are templates galore. If you need help, ask for it. Post in the dream team. Team one another if you want to, but you are going to run it, because people need to hear you as a leader. You want to attract your people. You don't want me running your sneak peek for you, okay? If I'm like your person and you want to team up with me, that's fine, or we can talk about it. But, like, you need to start stepping out there in leadership and be excited. And if only 2 people are there, fine. It is your exclusive sneak peek, okay? You can frame it that way. But you need to put together a post inviting people to it. All this week, you're going to be jabbing the freaking out of it in your stories, okay? You're going to be talking about it. Who wants to join? I'm so excited. You're going to be doing poll options. You're going to be talking about it all week. The thing is, nobody is going to just, honestly, click, I want to go to that. You are going to have to reach out and invite them. And I know that because I've literally creeped on Melanie's social media for 3 months, was so careful never to like anything, to never comment anything. Thank God stories weren't there, because I would have creeped on all those and she probably would have messaged me. But I watched her with so much intrigue for so long that, honestly, Melanie didn't invite me, so I should call her out on that. I finally just signed up. But if she would have invited me, I would have said yes the first month. Hands down, because I was that interested, but I was too scared to reach out for a long time. So you have to start jabbing it, talking about it, message it, and post it on Sunday night. Here's how this works: is you can't just post about something once, challenge groups, anything, and expect people to join you. You have to give yourself about a week to 2 weeks of lead up time, of jabbing things, talking about it. So if you just post this, you're like, great, I'm going to post about it Sunday night. Boom. No, you have to post about it Sunday night. So I'm going to be talking about it all week long, how excited I am to do it. I'm going to talk about income, all the things that, whatever it is, like, start looking at, you can look at of what we've done in those jabs, but start thinking about how to advertise for this in different ways at different times to catch different audiences, and start throwing it in there. Every single post that I make, not every post, I don't want to be over the top, but I try to think, how could I insert #CoachLife into this? So, for example, if I'm sharing a recipe, I don't just share the recipe. I talk about, I love clean eating. I love that coaching has helped me figure out how to do this. Or, I love clean eating. I'm so excited to share this recipe with my challengers. I'm going to share it with you guys too, because I'm a nice coach. That's not inviting anybody anything. That's just jabbing those little things out there. So how can you be incorporating even if you don't actually do it, hashtag Coach Life into every post that you make, okay? So be thinking about that this week. And Sunday night, you're going to post it. Now, here's why you post on Sunday night. Because people are on their phones scrolling social media at 9 p.m., grumpy about life or whatever it is, or unwinding from the weekend. You don't post it on Saturday because people are out doing fun stuff with their families and they're busy. You don't post it Friday night. People are on dates or at the movies or stuff. So you have to think about, who are you? Who is your tribe? When are you on social media scrolling? And then post at those times, okay? So for instance, like Chris and I were talking earlier, she's at work all day. So she's not going to post when she's at work because her people are at work too. So you don't feel bad. You don't have to be there all day long, but think about strategically. When are people there when I'm going to post? And so you have to start planning those things out now. And I know it's scary to think about doing this, and I know that it's scary to run a sneak peek. But guys, before you rip off the Band-Aid, the more confident that you're going to be. And here's the deal. My very first sneak peek, nobody came. Not one person. And guess what I did? I hopped on Zoom and I recorded myself anyway doing that freaking sneak peek. And I posted it on YouTube, and then I had something that every time someone was interested in coaching, I could send them. Was it great? No, it was probably terrible. It was 3 people, and it was probably a disaster. But I still talked about how I did that and how excited I was to share about coaching. Nobody knew that no one was on that call. Nobody knew. But it gave me confidence to start figuring out how to articulate the things that I was passionate about. And it was a disaster, and that's okay because I learned and I grew. And now you can do things differently. So don't be afraid to do that. So go think about, I'm going to jab, and I'm going to go invite all your challengers, right? Go talk to your challengers about coaching. Like, hey, I'm adding you to my sneak peek. Do you want to learn more? Because I think you'd be amazing at this. And add them in there. They can take themselves out if they don't want to be there. But then you have someone to listen to. So figure out what works for you, but you can do that. Will there be a follow-up call about what to put in sneak peek? We could do that, but there are actually sneak peek templates in the Dream Team website. If you post in the Dream Team, hey, who has a sneak peek template? There are like a dozen of them. So I'm happy to share one, but there's there's tons of resources. I've kind of pieced together. I like to do mine in videos on, like put them all in a group and have like a video about what I do as a coach, a video about how I earn money as a coach, a video about how much time it takes to coach, like just keeping it really simple and letting people. So, yeah. I think that was it for the assignments. Are you guys all good to do that? You scared? Who's scared? Do it anyway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it. Rip off the Band-Aid and just do it. It will help you. I promise. It really will. And the things that scare you the most are the things that grow you the most. I am super introverted. I'm incredibly private. I was terrified of social media. I did it anyways, and I love all those things. So it will help you grow. And you can even say it. I will sometimes say in my posts, like, I'm so scared to do this, or I feel really scared, but I'm so passionate, I just have to share. Like, you can even put it out there. So, okay, so coaching.
So real quick before we go into this, so Sunday's assignment, and you guys are doing this coach post, and from there, how many of you guys have had people tell you that they can't afford a challenge pack or they can't afford it? Yep. Look at those hands go up. Oh my God. Yes. Guess who is all getting an invite to your coaching sneak peek? Hey girl, I was thinking about this conversation that we had, and you know what? I can't keep this to myself. I would love to tell you more about what I do and why I think you would be a great fit on my team. Blah, 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 blah. Invite to coaching. Done. So everybody on that list, you've got your Sunday post that you're going to make. That's your homework. You're also going to go back, and everybody that has told you that they can't afford Shakeology or a challenge pack or whatever it is that they can't afford, you're going back and you're inviting them to that sneak peek. Be authentic with it. Don't use a scripted template that says, hey girl, like if you want Sandy on your team, then hey Sandy, what's going on? But you've just got with how fast those hands went up, you got a lot more. You got a lot of invites to your coaching sneak peek than you probably just realized. So, okay.
One thing that I will say that's been working for me on Instagram and on Facebook, you could do either, is I actually, in my invite, I will drop the link in there. And it was really interesting. This last time that I did it, I sent out 50 invites and 7 people responded, because that's really, it's a numbers, and it's all numbers. But people didn't respond back to my message. I would say like, hey, Taylor, thanks so much for liking my post. I would love to have you be a fly on the wall of my sneak peek. I'm covering everything in there of how I get paid to work out, be at home with my kids, and selfies in my garage. It's the best, or something like that. Here's the link to join. And I actually copied the Facebook link in there. People were requesting to join that never messaged me back. So that was really interesting to me, where some, especially if they didn't know me, they may have felt, oh, I don't want to get in a conversation with her, but they did want to be a fly on the wall. So actually giving them the link where they could just click to join was kind of, so that's just a little freebie for you guys. But it is terrifying to invite. I know it is. I hate it still. Number one, go listen to the National Wake Up Call the other day about inviting. That was awesome and super helpful. Number two, drink some Energize. Put on some like Bon Jovi, It's Your Life, or whatever song, The Lion King, like whatever it is that gets you pumped up, listen to it and get excited about it, because I swear energy can get transferred through a message. I don't know how, but I really think it does. And so if you are, again, in a really timid, I don't want to do this, that's going to somehow come through. Get excited about what you have to share. And honestly, if someone says no, they say no. I'm not going to kill you, you know? And if you're being authentic and adding value and excitement in your posts, that's still, they hate you for it, okay? Because you're not being spammy and salesy. You're being authentic. And this is something that changed your life and you're excited about. You want to extend that opportunity. My top coach, Julianne, who's a rock star, she said no to me 4 times about coaching, but she kept reading my posts, so I kept inviting her. And now she's at Summit right now with our team, killing it. So you have to just keep going for it, and you cannot feel bad about extending an invite to an opportunity that can change someone's life, especially when it's only positive things. And if they don't want to join you, that's okay. They're still liking your post, so they're fair game. So you just have to like put on your big girl pants and do it, and know that 1 in 10 people will say yes. So don't get discouraged when 9 people say no. That doesn't mean you're a bad coach. That's just the numbers. That's just the way that it is. Okay. So you cannot let no's just hold you back. You just have to do it.
Oh, we got a lot of questions to answer. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on.
Summit, let's see. Summit is in Indianapolis, I believe. Summit tickets, sorry, this is off topic, but they will go on sale this weekend, guys, for the cheapest. So if you want to be at Summit next year, buy them this weekend. Also, side note, not to derail us, but one of my coaches texted me, guys, pumpkin spice Shakeology. Let the heavens rejoice. Okay, just saying that, just throwing that out there.
My whole anti-pumpkin spice campaign is just totally shot now. Like, oh God.
So, okay, do you know what I did? So, guys, this is an example. I just screenshotted that girl's post from Summit, covered up her name with the little writing tool so it looks like my post. I did, oh my gosh, my world's been changed. I did the little slider graphic bar. Who else loves pumpkin spice? That's an engagement post. Guess what? Every single person who engages on a post is going to get an invite from me to a challenge group. Boom. How you doing? Summit.
Drop that.
No, I'm not there. Okay. You can go to
drop the mic.
Shot that and do that too. Okay. So Facebook versus Instagram. That's not the first question.
I think the first question, yeah, Jessica Stark, how many people do you get to join you from Facebook? Because right now I'm just using Instagram, and I'm wondering if Facebook is worth making a working platform too.
That it's where your people are. So go where your people are. If your people are on, focus on Instagram. If your people on Facebook, so like I have a couple coaches on the team who are in their 50s. I know their people are not on Instagram. They're on Facebook, and that's where they're concentrating their time. I know my people are on Instagram, so I have Facebook and I copy everything over there. But my posts and the way I write and like format the pictures, those are formatted for Instagram. So that's kind of how I do it. But I still invite on Facebook, and I grew my business on Facebook. It's just transitioned to Instagram more, I'd say, in the last year. I find it way easier to invite there. I find it way easier to find people there, and I love stories. So it's worth your time. But if you have friends on Facebook and you have friends on, like, go over there and just copy your post there. Don't write 2 separate things. Just do the same thing and there too. That's my take.
I think it's easier to exhaust your warm market in Facebook, a lot easier. And I think Instagram has been great for me once I finally did that, to find people that are a little bit more serious about the business, that like I don't have that personal friendship with, because you guys are going to invest a lot in friends, and it'll break your heart because, like Abby said, her 6 coaches aren't even coaching anymore, and it's hard to take. We're not going to kid you about that. It's hard when somebody decides to stop coaching. And Instagram just is a little bit more, they're looking at you for the business. They're looking at you for health and fitness very specifically. So Jessica, it's easy to duplicate, but I don't know that you don't have to if your people aren't there.
Yeah. I do know, like, I'm friends with Megan Geese. She's number 85 in the company. She's killing it right now. She recruits only on Facebook, which like blew my mind. So, I mean, if it's working for you, stay there, but don't be afraid to copy it to the other side. And then if a bunch of people are liking it there, then shoot them an invite for sure. But I do think Instagram is easier. So, yeah. How do you grow Instagram and Facebook? That is a great question. I can talk to that unless Chris has something. We've both grown it. We both use STEM Social, right? So I made the call to invest in my business. Like, you are going to have to treat it like a business. And so I invested in STEM Social, which is like basically an Instagram robot that follows people. That was really helpful because I just don't have time to sit around and find people all day. So you can search hashtags, and there's a whole strategy, and there's so much training on it. If you can just go on YouTube and search like YouTube and on the Dream Team file section, like there is so much. Beachbody Champions, if you guys are not on that page, get on there. There is like a buttload of Instagram and Facebook training on there. Like, it's a gold mine, truly. But at some point you may want to make an investment in your business to have people kind of find people for you, which has been really helpful for me. So with Facebook, I go through and I would add friends. And then I go, like, for instance, I look at my husband's friend list and be like, oh, I know that person, I'm going to add them. Or when I was pregnant this last year, which I don't know if any of you guys have like small kids or are pregnant, but that was really great for my business. And so I was added to those like birth month groups, like May and June groups. Guess what? I friended all those moms. And then I just left, like, the drama was ridiculous in them, but I like friended all them. So I'm like, great, they are going to be going along their pregnancy with me. Then they're going to watch me get in shape afterwards, and they're going to want to join my groups. And they are now. So that's awesome. So special interest groups, community groups. Again, don't be spammy in them. You don't want to get kicked out of them and post stuff, but that's a really great place to start to network in Facebook. You can kind of search those things, or your friends of friends of friends. I would go through, and if we had like 10 mutual friends in common, I would add them. So those are things that I did. I don't know, Chris, if you have other things, or if any of you guys have things that are working for you.
No, that's STEM Social has been my saving grace, because I was really bad at, you guys, it doesn't sound hard to search hashtags, right? Like, oh, hey, wine mom, I should be able to find some cool moms, right? No, like, I would find all like the wine sales people, and then I'm down a rabbit hole, because then I'm like trying to find wine moms in the UK, and and the next thing I know, I'm like on a site in Australia, and I'm a squirrel. Like, so searching hashtags was not good for me. But STEM Social, I was able to take like the wine mom, the scary mommy, or like to really target like what I like. So that drill that we all went through, that 5 identify yourself, you can then go and take and say, okay, I'm a dog mom. What kind of dog sites or what kind of dog people do I like? And STEM Social will like put that in there for you and essentially find those kind of people for you. So there's a lot of automated features out there. With Instagram, I like that STEM Social keeps it very personal, so it's really not kind of going against what Instagram is about with the auto trolling. We don't want auto trollers, and we don't want people that are like posting things for us or anything like that, because that's an Instagram no. But STEM Social, like, just they keep it real with the people that you're looking for in a logical connection. So,
or if you don't have STEM, and let's say you have your little sister and she's home over summer, or your niece or whatever, and they like go say, hey, hashtags for you, I'll pay you $15. Like, you can get creative with how you're using it. When I very first started my business, Melanie told me, like, if you want to grow, you will hit Success Club and you will do these vital behaviors. So I was like, okay. So for me, I did not go to bed until I invited at least 3 to 5 people every day, and I added 5 people every day. So that I could not go to sleep if I did not do those things, and my business grew. I would say if you're wanting to grow this business quickly, you 10x that. So you say, I'm not going to go to bed until I add 20 new friends, and I send out 20 invites a day. And that's just for you, a non-negotiable that you do. Maybe you only get 1 social media post in a day. That's okay, because you sent out all those invites. So you have to kind of, it may be slow, but if you are finding the right people, it's okay. And there's, again, like, go to Beachbody Champions page, or go just search. There's a buttload of training out there on how to find people that's really, really helpful too. So a girl watches all my stories. I've messaged her, but she's not making, yeah, people will ghost you, and that's fine. I just keep inviting them until they tell me to stop. So if you're watching, you at least are interested. The Beachbody terms about naming our websites and social media posts. Can you clarify what you mean by that? Question, Electra. So.
I see Electra on still, so if you want to unmute yourself. Okay, while we're waiting for her to unmute.
Oh,
Noelle, did she good, she unmuted. Hi, Electra.
Hey, you can call me Tanya. I just do that to be funny.
Okay.
Anyway, so I was reading the terms and agreement, right? I was going through it, and it says you must disclose your full name on all social media postings and conspicuously identify yourself as an independent beach body coach. Anonymous postings, blinds, and use of an alias is not permitted. Blah blah blah. So that's what I was kind of wondering, like between that and then when you get a website or anything like that, excuse me, you have to have it cleared by Beachbody. So those are the kind of things that I just wanted to get going forward, because when you're trying to find your own name or trying to like get an email address, for your business, or do your name on Instagram or Facebook, all of that kind of stuff, right?
So
you can't always come up with your own name.
Yeah, you can definitely check with compliance, but I think that from what my understanding is, like, my Instagram name is Abs in Progress. But if you go to my profile, it has my name on there, Abby Burgess. And then anytime that I do like an income, for instance, like an income related post, I always put the income disclaimer. So it says in there, Beachbody does not guarantee any success, blah, blah, blah. So anything that is actually tied to me making claims about the company is absolutely branded and has those compliance things. And compliance, if they see you messing around or you're doing something where they're like, that's not okay, they'll get in touch with you too. So I would worry about it. I think that's more for like if you're claiming about Shakeology curing all diseases and they don't want you posting under some like weird name that nobody can ever find you and you're like a weird ghost person. So I think. Okay,
so like when you're like doing your, like getting an account set up for that, I know it's like better to go with your name, but I can't actually do my name because in various ways it's all been taken. So that's what I was kind of wondering. Because I'll probably just go under Strength of Heart and then attach my name to it. But I wanted to make sure you don't want to sit there and build something and get to 15-star diamond and realize, well, you can't do that.
Yeah, no, I think you're fine.
Okay, cool.
Next question is about Shaco. I feel like I'm having a hard time getting people into coaching if they won't use or buy Shakeology. That's a great question.
I feel strongly about this, but you can go ahead, Abby, if you want to.
No, you go first, and I'll chime in with my perspective.
Okay. I will tell you right now, I stopped giving people samples. I don't give out samples to people until they've been customers for a while, and maybe they want to try a new flavor, like a crazy flavor like greenberry, which happens to be my favorite, but the color green freaks everybody out. So I will send my customers a packet of greenberry. I don't send new people packets of Shakeology for a couple of reasons. I'll be honest, and I'm honest with all of my challengers. My first round of Shakeology sucked. Like, I don't even like chocolate. I have no idea why I got it. I hated it. I had the wrong mixture. It took me a week and a half to even find a mixture that I could stomach. And so I think about it with Shakeology that if I've got one chance to present it to somebody, I don't have a chance to work with somebody. It takes most of the time with my challengers about a week to find that right consistency, to kind of find that soul flavor, to kind of work with them. So if I'm only giving them one chance to do it, they're not likely going to commit because you haven't given them or shown them the value in Shakeology yet. So I am really firm on people coming in. If they're not willing to commit yet, then they aren't your person at that time. I've had people that we've gone back and forth with 6 times. I've had people that I've invited for over a year that weren't ready to commit, that were finally ready to commit when they realized I'm still standing here and they're still miserable. they will be ready at some point in time. And I don't mean to sound harsh about that, but you have to figure out a way to be able to create value for them. And if you're just giving it to them, you're not creating that value. And that's a lesson I learned because I was giving away the Shakeology packets, but then I couldn't figure out why nobody was committing to my challenge groups. Yeah, so that's my feeling on Shakeology. I'm pretty strong on that.
Yeah, so I have a couple things on that, I would say. Number one, whenever I am getting objections about anything, if I'm getting an objection regularly, that is a clue to me that I need to post about that because it's something that's not clear. If you want a whole call on this, the archives of the National Wake Up Call, Bonnie Engel a couple years ago did like a phenomenal job about this, basically. And this goes for anything: Shako, time, money, like I'm too busy. And this could be applied to or coaching. But let's say I'm getting lots of objections on Shakeology. I will do a post on Shakeology of how I love it, how it was my prenatal, how I was not a shake girl, and I used to laugh at the Shakeology commercial at the end of the Insanity ad when I did it, and now joke's on me because I've had it every day for 4 years. Or that it was, how much it's helped my, chocolate sweet tooth, because I'm that girl who raids the pantry after a rough bedtime with my kids, going and looking for chocolate chips. Like I do that. And Shakeology. So think about, again, you don't want to be that salesy person just posting a stock image of Shakeology, but think about how, if you're getting objections on it, maybe you need to start sharing about it more. Now, it's what's really interesting, guys, and you can't get discouraged about this, is every time I could do a post to my kids and it'll get like 1 billion likes because they're super cute. I can do a post about coaching or Shakeology or my challenge groups. I get 3 likes, 9 likes, crickets, nothing. You cannot let that discourage you because number one, your value is not determined by the likes on your posts. And number two, people are watching you. I've had so many people who I will reach out to, or they finally reach out to me after years of watching, and I had no idea they were. But if I didn't start sharing, so people will not like your Shakeology post. I can guarantee you that. Unless it's on Instagram and you do a super pretty picture, and they're probably just liking for that reason. But you have to start sharing it. So if it's that, I'd say start sharing about it. Number two, if it's somebody who is like maybe allergies or other issues, there are home direct options of Daily Sunshine, the Performance Line, Beach Bars. Like we have options now that we didn't have before. So they can get that 90 PV of coaching that you need to be an active coach by those options. But I'm very clear, like I had people message me yesterday, actually, 2 separate people who are not shake people and they love Beachbody and they're like, how do I be a coach? Do I have to sell Shakeology? And I'm like, technically, no, you do not. I was like, but I know that my customers are going to absolutely get their best result. I believe in Shakeology 110%. So if you really want to make it in this business, honestly, you're going to have to get comfortable with Shakeology. Do you have to order it every month? No, but you do need to be on a home direct if you want to on like the cruise or, so I'm really upfront with people about it, but you just have to post and be confident in sharing it. And again, there are so many calls. The Dream Team just had a really awesome one about confidently sharing Shakeology. Shay Stanford, if you look at her blog, there's so many resources out there. There's an entire Shakeology podcast if you don't know about it and you want to learn about the amazing benefits. But I will, in my stories regularly, be making my shake in my stories. I saw someone the other day highlighting ingredients, like 1 ingredient a day in Shakeology in their story, which was really cool. They're like, did you know that this does this? Boom, that's all. So just get creative, but you have to talk about it and know that people are going to be weird and whatever, you just get over it. So.
But if you're willing to put it on your social media and to really stand behind it, you start creating that value for them. One of the things I've started running into recently, we've got you'll run into a lot of people and you'll handle it however you want. This is how I handle it, is people that are previously with Beachbody. Like maybe you've got coaches that have quit and they're looking for a coach now. They're looking to join your challenge group. I personally, if they already have Shakeology, like if they have a whole bunch of it, and you're looking for the Success Club points. I know we're looking for Success Club points with it, but if they already have a bunch of Shakeology, I'm not going to ask them to get more Shakeology. I have a rule then that they can join, but within their first 3 months, they have to get a home direct. They have to get something on home direct. And we go over like Shakeology, or would be a new home direct, Daily Sunshine, the bars, something like that within that first 3 months. It also keeps my pipeline going, because then when I'm like, hey, by the way, that 3 months and you need the Success Club points to keep building and going in the customer boost. But that's a choice that when I finally realized I'm running into a lot of Beachbody customers with a lot of Shakeology out there. I didn't feel comfortable requiring them to get it up front. If they're,
and
if
I
they're very
will, like, I made it, and again, this is deviating a little bit, but for you guys, just have the confidence. Like, when I was a baby coach, I felt bad about requiring Shakeology to join my challenge groups. I don't know why, but I just struggled with that. I don't know if any of you guys do. But now I make it a requirement, unless there's someone, again, with allergies or some really interesting, like, I will make exceptions. Like, I have a single mom in my group. I know she doesn't have 2 pennies to her name right now. I want her to have the best experience, so I'm not requiring her. But 99% of the people, I require them. And if they're drinking Advocare or It Works or whatever, and they want to join my group, they still have to do it. And I just tell them, like, hey, give it 30 days. This is a part of what we do. And if you want it, if you don't want it, some people just are so diehard that they don't. I'm like, awesome. Here's the on-demand membership. I'm happy to answer questions for you, but my support and all of my resources are for the people who are doing the program as it is intended. And Shakeology is a piece of that. There's a money-back guarantee if you hate it. I'm going to make sure that you know how to make it in a way that you love and all those things. So you just, again, you have to be confident about it, because that is where you're going to get that backbone, and people are going to tell you no, and that's okay. But you have to stand behind your business. If anything, it doesn't have flaxseed. I think that the performance line might be the only thing. I know that Daily Sunshine and Shakeology all have flax in it, because I have people who can't have flax either, and it kind of sucks. So I'm not sure about the performance line. I just added the link to STEM Social in there for you guys. If you go to the group chat, it is in there if you want it. But other questions that you guys have, you can feel free to unmute yourselves if you have them or are curious. We're happy to share.
One thing about STEM Social, because if you guys know about Instagram, just don't go posting about STEM Social. Don't go hashtagging it on your Instagram posts or anything like that. They stay under the radar. Instagram really looks for, and they don't want to be lumped into the Autobot people. So just please don't hashtag STEM Social or anything else like that on your pages if you do use it.
I think really honestly, guys, hopefully the biggest takeaway for you is you just have to, number one, be brave. And number two, you have to be consistent, and you just have to start doing it consistently and know that, again, your very first couple posts, people may not like them. They may not join you. Nobody may join your sneak peek, and that is okay. Did I add coaches my first month? So I added my husband. If you guys have not signed your spouse up, you need to get on the ball with that, like yesterday. I added my husband. The very first paycheck that I got from Beachbody, I went ahead and added him as a coach under me. I had to clear this up for someone the other day, so in case any of you realize this, your spouse does not need to be on Home Direct or have their own on-demand account. You do not need to spend tons of money on them. They just need to be active. But I added him, and then I added a friend. She was my other coach, so I went Emerald right away. And then there's a strategy to going Diamond, whether you're signing up discount coaches or working coaches and all of that. But I absolutely added coaches right away. Now, whether they were working or not, that kind of varied. But there's benefits to signing people up as a discount coach so you can rank advance more quickly. There's some strategy behind that your upline can totally talk with you guys through as well. But if you don't have a spouse or family member, then what you need to do is honestly, you're going to go balls to the walls talking about the business, which is going to be good for you because you can't rely on it. So you are just going to do it, Melissa, and you're going to rock it.
And good luck to Amanda. She's got 2 coaches to go until she gets to Diamond, and she is going to rock her sneak peek this week, and she is going to make Diamond. I can't wait to see that post. And Bianca, yes, you're always going to be nervous. You're going to write this amazing post, and you're going to post it, and you are going to go, oh, what did I just do? And your like first instinct is going to be to want to delete it, and you don't. Under no circumstances do you delete it. You can edit it if you see a spelling error, but other than that, under no circumstances do you delete that post. You just rip that Band-Aid and you go. But you're always going to be nervous. I still am. I'm sweaty palms just talking to you guys right now, and this is our team.
Yeah, guys, I've been doing this for 3 years, and I still hate inviting. But I do it because I know that it grows my business, and I know that people sit and watch. And I will put in, like, click the link in my bio or fill out the form below or drop an emoji, and nobody ever does. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. Like, did you not read? Like, what? But they don't. So you have to invite them. Your husband, does not have to be on Home Direct. So what you want to do is you sign your spouse up. If you want the Success Club points, sign them up with a challenge pack or get 3-day refresh. Get something on Home Direct so you get the Success Club points like beach bars or if you haven't tried Energize, you're missing out in your life. I ate 5 beach bars today, which was really bad. They're so good. Problem. But you get those things, cancel the home direct order. They don't need to be on it. They just need to be active. So you don't have to spend all the money on it. Then you have a coach control. So that's really important that if you haven't done that yet, you really need to do that right away.
Noelle, you've got a great post coming because you're thinking about posting about how you stop taking a crap ton of supplements and that's what you eat for dessert now. Perfect. There is your post. Go make some chocolate pudding and rock your post because it doesn't have to just be a shake. This
should be obvious, but like make sure your pictures look nice. Like good lighting, happy faces, like something that's going to be eye-catching when you're doing a coaching post. I try to make coaching posts are not always me in gym clothes because I want people to know there's another side of me. So it might be me with my family or dressed up or looking like it doesn't have to be looking like a hot mess all the time. But make sure they're pictures that are going to draw people in and want what you have to offer. I always post, like, if you're up in the morning, post your devotions and talk about how you love personal development and taking that time, like whatever it is. Just think about how you can hashtag coach life in there and start dropping those hints at least 3 times a week and every day in your stories. And I guarantee you it's not going to happen overnight, but you're going to start attracting people and you're going to start getting brave and inviting them. So,
Melissa, if you don't have a spouse or family member to add, that is all the more that you're going to start looking for the other people out there, those coaches, and that makes coaching posts all that much more important. If you don't necessarily, there's a lot of people that don't have a spouse, they don't have a family member, they don't even have a good friend that they can add as that Insta coach. That just helps you carve out your niche faster in making those coaching posts. So don't use that as a deterrent. That just means that you're gonna use your coaching. If you're looking to build a business, you're looking to build a foundation you're gonna end up building a foundation faster.
Do you think we've got to wrap this up because we're over an hour now? So we'll let you guys go.
Oh my God, are we? Sorry, guys.
Yeah. But Electra, best time of day to post, or Tanya. So think about your people. When are they on? Okay. When are you on social media? That's when you post. So like Chris is at work all day. She shouldn't post when she's at work because that's not when her people are on. I know that like moms are scrolling the news feed at night after kids go to bed. So I do not post between, well, number one, because I can't, but between like 5 and 7:30, because that's like bedtime and it's a zoo in my house. But at 9, I know my market is on. So think about your people. When are your people on social media? And that's when you post. So awesome. If you guys have questions, feel free to shoot us messages or post in the Dream Team. There's amazing resources there. Like I said, there's almost an overwhelm of info out there. So you guys have plenty, but we'll post this recording and hopefully this was helpful. We're excited to see all your guys' invites and your sneak peeks.
The picture's up. Our team picture is up. If you don't like it, hurry up and take one right now. I purposely did it kind of at an angle so it didn't look all polished and perfect, but hurry up if you want a picture, anybody.
It's in that.
Okay, it's already in the group. So, bye guys.
Have a good night, guys. Bye.